everyone. Welcome back to Nigeria. We just finished one session and we are moving on to another one. Is the panel session. And I have my speakers here and I'm still waiting for one of them, Dr. Ajah. I don't know why she's not here. One, by the far left, I have Ayodele Awokoya here, PhD student in computer science, and she specializes in natural language processing from University of Ibadan, Nigeria here. Hi, Ayodele.
Hi,
Then
everybody.
I also have Dr. Roselyn Isimeto from the University of Lagos. She's an AI machine learning researcher. Hi. Then I have Tejumade here, our AI community builder and leader. She's a graduate student at Saarlandes University, studying computer science. Teju, hi, how are you?
Hi, everyone. So nice to be here.
I also have Oluwatoyin, Sanni, Yetunde here. She's a graduate research student of Sapienza University in Rome, and she specializes in AI and robotics in health. So I welcome all of you on board. So our session is based on social impact on women pursuing AI as a career. We know women have many challenges. Some live their dream unfulfilled. Some don't achieve their dreams. So we are lucky to have a set of women here, and we are going to take us through how we can solve some of these problems or we live with them. Now, one, I am going to start with Yetunde, my dear friend. Yetunde, what are the common conceptions do people have about AI, and how can we combat these misconceptions?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. I think one of the misconceptions in AI is that AI is to take over the world and take jobs from people. I think that is one of the most common misconceptions that we have about AI. However, I see it as a synergy of AI and human, that is AI and human coming together. If I look at the case of AI for healthcare, there is no way we can come up with some of these AI models that are detecting diseases or for precision medicine without contacting the health practitioners themselves. So it's more of making their work easy and not taking their jobs. And I think one of the ways that we can combat these misconceptions is personal enough knowledge to different people. So we have AI applied in the fintech industry, we have AI applied in the agriculture sector, AI in the health sector. And I think the different people from these fields having like programs that would educate them. I know of one in Lautech, Ogbomoso in Nigeria, where one of their students is actually organizes these monthly meetups with the doctors in the university and try to tell them how they can collaborate with the AI practitioners to actually make things better in the healthcare sector. So I think if we have programs like that for people from these fields and educating them about these misconceptions, I think it will go a long way to making them understand that we are not here to take anybody's job. We just want to make life better for you.
Yeah, thank you today for that wonderful answer. I move on to Tejumade. How are you, Teju? I know you are a community builder, AI community builder. So you just briefly tell me your role and how do you encourage women to join AI and stay in AI?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Hi, everyone. So it's my pleasure being here tonight. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So as a community leader, usually I see my role as someone to inspire. I always kind of like do whatever I do. I look at myself and I wonder if I'm able to inspire someone, even if it's just one person. And in terms of how do we encourage more women into computing generally, it's usually something I think about as a collective effort. We have a long way to go. In my community, for example, one of the things we try to do is that we specifically look at the statistics. So when we send out application form and we look at the statistics, and we don't have enough women, we do another call out for application or something, because we feel like we need to have that gender diversity. But to be honest, it's not that easy. Even with all those, we still have fewer women. But unlike when we started our community, where we had about 3 to 4 women join and just like 2 women finished the cohorts, for the last community, for the last cohort, we had more women sign up. So I think as we are growing, like more people are talking about this to their friends, and I think, you know, there's no easy answer to this question. So it's usually just, I feel like you just have to make a conscious effort to do these things, like by educating people, and also making women feel comfortable with this. And because, like Yetu said, there's a lot of misconception out there, and it's not just about people who are scared about AI, but some women have been told that this field is difficult, it's probably not for them. You just need to help them find passion in it, something that it makes them, it excites them about the field. So, and that's kind of like what I see as my role as a community leader. Is like I want to help you get to that point whereby if you're excited about things you're doing, what you're running, and you know, we can learn together. You can see that we're in this together, basically. So
thank you. That was a lovely contribution. Ayodele, to you. So if women choose AI as a career, give us tips on how they can cope with home caring, children, and their research. Yetunde, Oluwatoyin, how can you mentor women into AI to go into field in AI and stay? Can you mentor?
Thank you so much for highlighting. Yes, thank you so much for highlighting that word "stay," because there was a conference I attended some years ago, and it showed how women get into the computing field generally. Now we're talking about computer science in general, and when they get to some particular point of the career, they drop out of the career. So I like the fact that you highlighted the "stay," and I think one of the ways that we can mentor women is having more leaders, having more AI leaders, because I personally would be motivated when I see someone where I want to be. So it's not a show or it's not a tell, but a study where I see someone where I want to be, and that inspires me to know that I can be there, especially when I can relate to their story, relate to their background, and relate to where they are coming from, and knowing that they had others and they were able to get through that others to where they are. I think that is very important, having more leaders in the AI field. And I think we have many communities that are also doing a lot of workshops. Like, for example, the Women in AI is a great platform to support most of us that are getting to the AI field. We can see professors. I mean, I am just a master's student, but when I see professors in AI, when I see doctors like you in AI, that inspires me to know that, yes, so it's not until we sit one-on-one with these women, but when we put ourselves out there, when we tell our stories and they see that they can relate to us, then that inspires them and also, push them forward. And that is the non-technical part of it. The technical part of it is also what things like what Tejumade is doing. That is the AI Saturdays community. So we are not just, showing them that we are here, but we are also teaching them how to be here. So I think that is also really, really great when it comes to mentorship.
I love that answer. Thank you. Tejumade, I'm coming back to you. Now, you are a giant leap. I know that for your first degree, you had mechanical engineering. That's a big leap for women. Now you are moving to another AI. How do you do it? Do you feel comfortable doing that? Or is it good? You want more women with you there? Or you want to be alone? You have the floor now.
I mean, that's a really good question, because growing up, I was always told that I was acting like a man, or I could not do what a man could do. And I think part of the things that motivated me as a kid was because I was just tired. Like I was like, why? Like the things did not feel as difficult once I eventually do it. So I spent a lot of time kind of like trying to prove you wrong. So my career path, I've always loved mathematics, and I knew that I wanted to do engineering. But people would tell me that, you can't be an engineer, it's only for men. And that was a pushback because it's made me wanted it a lot more. Like I was like, so mechanical engineering, it was like, no way. My mom would be like, mechanic, and saying mechanic is not a good thing. It's not in a fascinating way. She's just trying to mock me, like in a fun way that it's a guy's job and it's men that are doing it. And then so that was what like part of my interest for machine, and also for the most part because I just wanted to do what seems difficult. So I think I was very, very stubborn in terms of like mechanical engineering. And then I loved the field, of course. So, but when I was in 200 level, I attended I was mistakenly somewhere where there was this IEEE meeting, which was a community in the school. I didn't know about that then. And they were talking about robots, like they were talking about NASA Curiosity robots. So, and I don't know, maybe it was the name or the picture, but as I was looking at the picture, it was like I had an epiphany. I was like, no, I just don't want to be a mechanical engineer. I want to be able to build a machine that can think. And that was in 200 level. So the thoughts never went away. I joined the organization. For my final year thesis, I worked on a robot vacuum cleaner, and I was fascinated about the idea of machine that can think. So when I finished school, I was conflicted, of course, like because I was always doing some computer science stuff, and then because my sister was a computer scientist, and people would tell me that why am I trying to look at other fields, like why am I, like, they make you feel bad for kind of like being curious about different things. And that was a really bad one because it didn't, like, I didn't feel comfortable exploring those fields. But eventually I got to understand that people always have opinion about your life. So I wanted to learn how to code, and I wanted to learn about this field. So that was I knew that in order to be able to build a machine that can think, I needed to know how to code, and that artificial intelligence was something that became my passion as I was pursuing how to build machine that can think. So you can see that it was not a straight line. It was just like there was different motivation. And so for my master's, I decided to go do a master's in computer science because my program has a lot of machine learning. So I'm not just doing core computer science work. I'm doing mostly like machine learning related courses, like artificial intelligence and whatnot. So, yeah, I guess it's just, I'm just following my passion, things that I find interesting, because at the end of the day, it is my life. And, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Yes, thank you so much. I know that this is your story. A lot of women have that kind of story. I have also. I remember even right now in my department where I lecture, we have 18 male to 2 female. Just 2 female that we lecture women, that 2 female lecturers. And even while I was still looking for a job, I always find out that when they eventually shortlist, if they shortlist 10 people, we'll have 9 male and I will be the only female. I think it's an awesome thing. The determination, the passion for women that sit for AI. Thank you so much. Ayodele, can you hear us now? Ayodele, can you?
Sakinat, are you not asking me? I've been here. I've not spoken.
Ayodele.
I've been left out. Yes. Did you forget?
No, you were going on. I think they.
I've been back since.
Okay, how are you, Roselyn? All right. How are you, Roselyn? So,
I'm fine.
Would you like to talk to us about machine learning AI research in Nigeria? And how are women faring there?
How women are faring?
Yes.
machine learning and research in
AI.
Nigeria.
Yes. Do we have a lot of women? Do we have a lot of women there? Do you want to tell us why women run away?
Not much.
Okay, why do women run away from that? We like to talk.
Generally, we have few women in STEM field.
Yes.
That is a fact. We have few women in STEM field compared to the men.
Would you like to encourage
in our department, for instance, in computer science,
yes,
in a class of say 100 students, might have 80 boys and 20 girls.
Wow.
So we've always had more men than women.
Oh.
And pickles up. So for masters now, it's still thinner because the job is tougher. And then PhD is still much thinner. So there is a problem of shortage of women. I think it's global, not just in Nigeria, because women are saddled with other responsibilities. Yeah. So in terms of our research, we're trying, but it could be better if we are given the right resources.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Roselyn. Yes, thank you, Dr. Isimeto. Ayodele, can you hear us? While we wait for Ayodele to really get back to us, I'll go back to Yetunde. What made you go into AI? You were in the industry before, you are getting into academics now. Why are you staying there? Can you just briefly tell us?
My passion for AI started from my undergraduate days, and I have a weird story around that because my inspiration came from a movie. I love to see a lot of movies, and there was this movie where it was depicted after the September 11 bombing in the US, and the US government actually got a PhD professor to build a machine that could predict the act of terrorism before it occurred. So that is like, yes, the title is person of interest. And when I was watching the movie, because I was a computer science undergraduate then, I could relate with some of the technical terms. And it was so intriguing because I thought it was like something that was not possible. It was just a movie and it's not going to be possible to predict such things in real life. But after having my AI course in my final year and having knowledge about AI, I discovered this is not something out of reach. And I was like, this field looks like something that is so interesting. And at that time, I had not even started taking my coding classes serious. So I decided to, take my coding classes serious. And after that, I was able to get a job in software engineering, but my eyes was still fixed on AI. So for most people, it's software engineering, and then they got to know. For me, it was AI. And I got to know that I needed to have good coding skills to go into AI. So I decided to go through the software engineering part with a good company that writing good code. And about 4 years in the industry, I decided to pursue my master's in what I initially wanted before I started software engineering. And so those are things that inspire me. The fact that we can automate things. I like to see myself as a lazy person, and if I can automate even a machine that will, bathe me in the morning, I think I'm not going to. I can be very lazy, so I'm always thinking of how to automate a lot of things that I do. So I think for me, it was a personal drive of how can I automate my house? How can I have a robot that can cook for me because I like food? So those are kind of the things that pushed me into robotics and I'm not regretting at all that I'm in this field, and I'm looking forward to so many solutions that I can, do to get out of to cover up for my lazy person.
Thank you, Yetunde. I would like to. Laziness is just like drives your passion, and look at where you are now today. Ayodele, are you with us now?
Yes, I can. Yes. Can you hear me? Wow.
Now, the question I asked you earlier before you left us was that you are in AI, and a lot of female and AI want to get into AI. Do you think they can cope with research, children, and marriage or home?
Well, thank you. Actually, women can cope, though it could be a little bit it could be not on the easy parts as such, but women they are equipped to cope because we have many things available. We have many organizations available to help women sustain in this field. We have Women in AI is also an organization that is trying to gear women into, helping them to ensure they achieve their career in AI. So they can cope. All they just need is to be determined to push themselves, like Teju and Tony has also said. It's not just it doesn't come on a platter of gold, though. We need to change our mentality also about telling ourselves it's a male-dominated environment and stuff. We need to work on that. It's a thing of the mind. When we work on that and tell ourselves, like people like Tejumade and Tony has also said that they were pushing themselves and telling themselves, I can also do it. When they do that, there are opportunities on ground. There are organizations that are ready to help women. Majorly, we have initiatives on ground that are there to help women sustain in this career. So I believe women can do it. All they just need is to brazen themselves and take the opportunities that are available.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Let me chip in something here. Ayodele. Yes, because we are the ones older than the ones coming behind us. Yes. Yeah. So, thing is this: for those of you who are still single, you need to make sure you get a spouse who understands what you're doing, who will support your vision, support your drive, so that you not have problems at the home front. You need to balance this before you get into marriage, because if your husband does not support you, you can't cope. You won't have peace to code. Yes, because our job involves a lot of.
That's true.
Yes, thank you. I can see
so you need peace at home for you to do well. So make sure you get a partner, a friend, as a husband who supports you, who believes in AI, who loves what you're doing, who will allow you go for conference, webinars, symposiums, live 3-4 days a week, the kids at home, and you come back, no problem. Make sure you get such a man who supports you. Else,
what I am tired of is why is our life revolving around men? Dr. Sakinat, why should our life be revolving around men?
Would you like to just, on a lighter note, just brief us what your research interest is?
Oh my God, that's a good one. That's a good break from men. I mean,
just 1 minute I give you because
oh no, I don't want to go. I'm just my research interest is in the intersection of machine learning, privacy, and security. And the reason why I'm very excited and interested about the field is the fact that when you think, I told you I was fascinated about robots and about the field and about what machine can do. But as I moved into it, I realized that there's a lot going on, that there's a lot of these models that are not working for people that looks like me. And it's not comfortable for me to see that things like we have facial recognition system that could potentially think I'm a monkey. It's insulting and it's insane. So I decided that I was going to be the change that I want to see. And I was going to go into that field, know what's going on, and hold accountable for what's not. So I care about privacy a lot, and then I care about security of machine learning. I want to make sure that these models work for everyone and not just this subset of people. So I see myself as that's the passion and drive I'm taking into this field. You said 1 minute and that's it. Police of AI.
Yes, thank you.
Police.
Just one more time. Is it good to keep deadlines? How can women keep deadline? Considering the fact that we are multifaceted, we do a lot of things at the same time. We take care of the kids, the home, the husband, the research, and then so is it important? How do you think we can keep deadline? 1 minute. 1 minute. Our time is fast spent.
No problem, no problem. There is no way we can work perfectly and accurately without keeping deadlines. So we should have that at the back of our minds. Number one, we can have a calendar or somewhere in our house or in our study where we can just keep our schedule, like our timetable, what we want to do at a particular period. Let us not take issues from office to home. When all you need to solve at a working place or as school, as a woman in AI, solve them there and don't bring them home. And things that you need to solve at home, solve them at home. That's the best way. And make sure you have mentors, or let me say advisors, that can get themselves involved in what you're doing, so they can always be on you, like they can always cheer you up, they can always give you words of advice when you need it, especially when you are down, because it can come like that. So you need people like that in your life. And most importantly, try to keep your calendar, have a schedule, put it where you can always see it every morning, and it will help you. We cannot make it without trying to keep up to deadlines. It's not possible.
So
Thank
much.
you.
Dr. Roselyn, just 1 minute. Can you tell us what is important as a machine learning researcher? Is it data, or what do you think is important?
Data. Data is life. Data is gold.
You have just 1 minute. You have just 1 minute to do that.
Without data, you can't do anything. Data is for me priority. And it will be good if we can get data. The major challenge, data access.
I love that. Yetunde, one last time before I round this up. Now, you talk about AI, you talk about robotics, and you talk about your passion. Now, how do you now put this together? The AI, the robotics, and the health. What do you do? Just 1 minute for you to do that.
Okay, I'll just give one scenario since I have 1 minute. So currently, I'm working on research for breast palpation, breast examination, and I'm combining like a synergy of AI and robotics. So in this case, a robot manipulator, that is a robot arm that is able to do breast palpation on a patient's breast and is able to detect if the patient has cells that are cancerous. So that is one synergy that we can see, because the software, the intelligence that drive the hardware is where you combine the AI, which is the intelligence in healthcare. So that is one instance where you can combine both. I hope I've not passed 1 minute.
That, there's a way you put these things together. So a woman should be in AI, build a robot that will take care of our health issues. Wow. Exactly. That's impressive. I love that. Nigerian women doing great things in AI. Now, Ayodele, one more last question before I round up. Maybe that's the second time I'm saying that to you. Rest. Rest. Is rest important? Like sleep, like take time to be alone? Is it important for your career or your well-being? Can you just...
Like we all know, there's a saying that says health is wealth. Actually, our health is more important. As much as our career is important, our health is also important. As women in here, we are being stuck with different things. We need to take care of this, take care of that. Everything is on us. So we need to try as much as possible. It might not be as easy as that, but let it be at the forefront of our minds that I need a rest. All these things I'm doing, I have to sit back at the end of the days, and enjoy the fruit of this. So we need the rest as much as we can. Let's reduce taking caffeine if possible. And when you see that it's interfering with your health, try to see when you see your health is being interfered with due to your career and things that is on you, just try to go see a therapist, see a medical doctor. Don't play with your health. It's so important. Please, let's try to rest as much as we can. And when we do that, we see that we wake up again, revived. Even in the afternoon, we can take a power nap. Like, just take a short nap, rest, put your heads on just let's try to give ourselves that break. It's so important in order for us to move ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Dr. Isimeto, do women face challenges? Can you just give us one or two challenges that women face while trying to achieve their dream?
Yes, plenty. One, there is one I would love to do now on the probability of you getting heart diseases based on the function of your facial expression. In fact, I read the paper 3-4 days ago. It was done in China by some researchers. They can predict if you have heart disease, you know, based on the picture they will take from your face. So I actually want to do that because I love it. My dad has heart disease. So I have my son's friend who also has heart disease. So if we can come up with a model that will predict your probability of having heart disease, be very useful, so that we can fight some of this disease from before it surfaces. You know, before it comes up, you would have known and then prevent it. So for me, I'm very good in health. That was why I was so happy you asked me about data. Data is a problem. And I spoke to my medical doctor friend at our medical center. Let's do this. Let's get the data. You see, we have a lot of problems. Our doctors need to be educated and be told what we need from them. We need data to deliver. I can manage with lights. I can manage with internet access. You know, I can build my algorithm. But the important thing is data. Without data, I can't work. So for me, data is gold. Data is the fuel. It's the most important of all things we need. Yes. You get what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Isimeto.
I'm sending you.
There was one model I was building. I went to FCMB Bank on credit scoring. I went to the bank. I wrote to them. They said they will get back. I went again. They didn't give me data. They had it. So data is a problem. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Yes, thank you, Dr. Isimeto. And I use this medium to thank all our panel, even our speaker, Professor Francisca, and for some of the take home from our discussion, what we have had now was that this is a kind of a social impact problem that we are trying to see how we can encourage women to overcome. Whether you are an undergraduate, whether you're a graduate student, whether you're married or you're a researcher, or you're an AI entrepreneur or AI startup, we encourage women to stay, and we encourage you to continue to build your passion. Another thing from what I get here is that a woman can have it all. You can have your career, you can have relationship, you can have marriage, you can succeed, or you can excel at what you do, as long as you maintain your passion. And at the same time, you can be a wife, you can be a mother, you can be a sister, and you can still excel at what you do.
Sure.
Yes. And the thing is that just find a good coping strategy, how you can cope, integrating all this together. And another thing is that I also got that we should have a good coping strategy, according to Ayodele, and take time to be alone so that you can think of fresh ideas, especially when you're saturated. Another one is you join a good mentoring network. You have good mentor, and so that you can do quality research. The fact that we are women does not make us do a lesser good work than our male counterparts. Another thing is that you should do a lot of volunteering. I do that. I mentor, I volunteer, you know, just call me for any volunteering work. I am there. But the thing is that a volunteering job is just like a paid job. So if you volunteer, you gain more knowledge, and, you know, you expand your network, and you also keep learning. And another thing is that we say that data is oil, just like Dr. Isimeto has said. I know that Tejumade cannot work without data. Oluwatoyin cannot work without data. All of these things that Ayodele has told us this night, she worked around data. So data is oil. Now, I'll now refer us back to our first panel, where Professor Francisca was talking about signs of fair data. Now, we want to work with data. So what does our fair data, what does it have to do with the data that we are talking about now? She told us that our data has to be findable, that we have to, when you collect data, when you collect your local data, because the kind of cancer that we have in Nigeria is different from cancer that we have in Europe. So if you collect cancer data in Nigeria, you make it fair, you make it findable, then we expand our horoscope. Then more AI algorithm, more models can visit the data, build decision support systems, and they can even help our healthcare service system to build policies around that data. Then she said that our data should be interoperable. So the data you collect, you put it in a format that any other person, whether in the JSON format, XML format, Excel format, or CSV format, any format you put your data, any other person found it, then findable, FIN. Oh, well, that FIA, that your data should also be accessible. Yes, you can put it in a repository where other AI counterparts can access your data, use it to build model, then your data should also be usable.
We need to round up. We need to round up.
Yes. All these are what Professor Francisca gave us. So, above all, we should build AI for good and AI for all. Women inclusive. Thank you all. I love you. My name is Dr. Sakinat Folorunso. I'm Nigerian.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you all for joining us. Bye-bye.